Hello everyone and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat. A brilliant day of football action continues, and this time we are back in the UWCL with a huge clash. It's take 3 of 4 of Man City versus Chelsea, and both sides rotating, both sides having to find something different in what has been a very weird period for both teams. We saw Chelsea win the League Cup final, we saw Manchester City win the first leg in the Champions League, and now we get to see them face off each other in the league. A brilliant day. If you joined me earlier for the Liga F, the El Clasico team, Barcelona Real Madrid, thank you very much for that. But now we return to England and return to a big clash in the UWCL. We've already had UWCL action yesterday and this morning, so we'll talk through that as well. But Chelsea, they're still unbeaten in the league and they want to maintain that. For Manchester City, with Arsenal winning yesterday, with Manchester United yet to play today, they need to keep the pace. They need to make sure that they are right on their tails in that fight for the top three. Manchester City, they've shown this season that it is crucial that they do manage to qualify for the Champions League. Right now, they're not doing it. They have to keep pace with the top three. A loss today could be crucial for that battle. If they lose today and Manchester United win later, that gap will really open up and City will have a lot of work to do. But they proved on Wednesday that not only are Chelsea Chelsea are beatable, but also that Man City can beat Chelsea on their day. So let's see what's going to happen. Both sides have really rotated today, as we kind of expected after two really tough games, with the second leg of the quarter-final in the Champions League still to come on Thursday. We expected to see some rotation from both sides, and we have. Chelsea and Bompastor have made 6 changes, Manchester City making 4 themselves. So let's have a look early doors at those lineups. We'll start with the home side, Manchester City. Kiara Keating is one of those 4 changes. She comes in for Yamashita. The back 4 then of Kasparai, Alexandri, Gracie Pryor and Lazell all coming in. It's a change that I think should see either Lazell and Kasparai can both play left back, can both play right back. So it'll be interesting to see which way round those two players are today. It is in a midfield 3 of Yui Hasegawa, Jill Rord and Laura Coombs. And then the front 3 of Jess Park on the right-hand side, Caroline on the left-hand side, and Viviana Miedemar, who scored a double against Chelsea on Wednesday night, leads the line once again. So still no Shaw or Fagino in the matchday squad, as they are both still injured, but Miedemar very much proved on Wednesday that she is still at the level and that she can put this Chelsea defence to the sword. So Man City making 4 changes, Chelsea making 6, a massively rotated side from Sonia Bompastor as she looks to find a response from her team after that really disappointing loss on Wednesday evening. Hannah Hampton remains in goal. The back 4 shuffles a little bit, which sees Niamh Charles come in at left back. It is in a centre-half partnership of Millie Bright and Lucy Bronze, with Natalie Bjorn being rested, with Naomi Germer out injured, with Mpome out injured, with Buchanan out injured. Bright and Bronze will be the centre-half partnerships, and Ashley Lawrence will play right back. In the pivot, it is Envika Captain and Oriane Jean-Francois, so Cuthbert and Walsh both dropped from the game on Wednesday. Across the attacking 3 then, it is Johanna Eating-Carnreid on the right-hand side, Lauren James on the left-hand side, and Micah Hermano comes back in to the attacking midfield position, and then leading the line is Aggie Beaver-Jones. So Chelsea resting a lot of players, as I said, Natalie Bjorn not in the starting 11, Cuthbert, Walsh both dropped, Myra Ramirez onto the bench for the first time in what feels like a very long time. So interesting changes for Bompastor, clearly seeking a reaction. It's a mix of wanting to rotate, wanting to balance minutes, but also wanting to see an improved performance. And it's a really fine line, because as a manager, you think if you want to see a reaction, you want to play your best players. But when you've had such a interesting run of, when you're playing the same side 3 times in a row, it's really hard to manage those minutes. So Bompastor heavily resting tonight, and Chelsea showing that the priority for the Blues is to turn around that 2-0 deficit on Thursday in the Champions League. Whether they'll do that, we'll have to wait and see. But for today, it is a big game. I think, as we've said before, as we've said in our preview, it's massive, really, that it's massive for Manchester City that they win today. For Chelsea, it's not as crucial, but it is still a big game. They still want to win, of course. And after losing their unbeaten run in all competitions, I think Chelsea and Bompastor will be very keen to hold on to that the unbeaten, the invincible dream in the domestic campaign. So Chelsea, they've got a point to prove after the loss on Wednesday. Manchester City have to win to keep tabs with Man United and Arsenal. It's going to be very, very interesting. I think the fact that they've both won one game each going into this third tie also makes it very interesting. I think it's going to look a lot closer than we expected. This was the game I think that people looked at being the closest. As far as I know, she's on the mend. She isn't expected to be back until after the international break now. So it's that's a shame for her. But yeah, Balsar John on the stream says sell Johanna eating Carnery. She's crap. Carnery isn't crap. Don't sell her. Lucky welcome to the stream as well. Says I'm a Chelsea fan. I think Man City will win this game 2-0 again. Wow, fair enough. I mean, clearly not backing Chelsea with the rotated 11, and fair enough. I think that Chelsea will respond. I don't see Chelsea playing as poorly as they did on Wednesday. Man City, if they play as well as they did, then it's going to be very, very difficult. But we'll wait and see. It's one of those where it's really hard to work out what on earth's going to happen in these next two games, because paper would say that Chelsea are going to win. The League Cup would say that it's going to be close. The Champions League game would say that City are going to win. So it's really, really hard, to be honest, to work out where we're gonna what the result is going to be today. So I think that hopefully Chelsea give a performance that is more competitive. Everyone's saying sound gone. The sound seems to be okay for me. I think we're all right. As Dave Fraser says, it's fine, so I don't know what to go off. But yeah, I do think that the difference maker could be today is what Chelsea come up with. If Chelsea come up with something different, something new to challenge Manchester City, then it's going to be very, very interesting to see if Nick Cushing can come up with something to caveat that. The thing is, if Bompastor has found something different in this match, City are going to have to react, and whether they do that, I'm not too sure. I think that with Chelsea, they were really poor with the ball on Wednesday, and I think that if they can't get on the ball, if they are as sloppy and as poor under City's press as they were in the Champions League game, then it's going to be very, very difficult for Chelsea once again. And it's one of those where will we see a marked improvement from Chelsea? I would expect a reaction. At the end of the day, this is Chelsea, this is Bompastor. She doesn't let her side play as badly as they did at the weekend and get away with it. So I do think Chelsea will be better. They've got to be better under the press. They've got to be better on the ball, because I think that the problem is that City would press them, would win the ball back, high at the pitch, and then just punish Chelsea. And that's exactly what happened. And credit to Viviana Miedema, because she took her 2 chances really, really well and made life really difficult for Chelsea. And it's down to Chelsea to change that. Maria says, very interested to see Bronze at centre-half from the start, but I guess Nuskin would have been the only other option. Yeah, that is a bizarre change, I think, for Sonia to make. Obviously, deciding the need to rest Bjorn. Very unfortunate that Naomi Girma came in and got injured, that Kadisha Buchanan is out for the season. Maylis Mpome is also out at the moment, I believe, or has only just come back. So, yeah, not ideal at all for Chelsea. Bronze, she can do a job there, as a makeshift centre-half. It's not ideal for such a big game, but at the end of the day, it's what happens when you have runs like these, when you have these bizarre scenarios. You do have to do a bit of tinkering and make some changes perhaps you wouldn't usually make. Lucky says, just be honest, Chelsea don't have to win this game. There's zero pressure, so it should be easier. Yeah, that is true. I think if we're being realistic, Chelsea lose today, they have a gap to Arsenal of 5 points. That is still pretty comfortable. So for Chelsea today, it is a free hit, yes, but I do think they want to see a reaction, because if Chelsea go into that Champions League second leg having lost back-to-back games to Man City, then I think it's going to be put Chelsea in a really worrying situation for the momentum and for the sake of a good performance and keeping that 8-point gap, Bompastor want to win today. And as a football club, you never go into a game expecting or thinking that you can lose. Summer says, if Chelsea lose, Arsenal will be 5 points behind. Do you think title race will be back on? If the thing is, if Chelsea still have to play Arsenal, then potentially so. But Chelsea have only got to play Manchester United, so have Arsenal. And for me, that's not enough, because even if United beat Chelsea, the gap closes to 2, and it's not a given that Arsenal will beat Man United. So I think it's interesting. I think 5 points wouldn't be an ideal situation for Chelsea, but it'd still be pretty comfortable. It would give Arsenal a chance, yes, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans would believe, but maybe I don't know whether that would be belief or false hope. I think it would be more false hope. But for Chelsea, I think it will be important today that they get the job done, that they win this game, give themselves some momentum going into the Champions League game, and retain that 8-point lead to Arsenal and Manchester United at the top. For Man City, they need to win if they want a chance of getting into that top 3. A loss today would put them a good 2 victories behind Manchester United and Arsenal, and that would leave them with a world of trouble and a lot of work to do. Teams are now coming out for the first half, and predictions. Predictions is what I'm getting at. I am going to say, I'll start. Make sure if you are tuning in to get your predictions down in the live chat. Ishmael went to the stream saying Chelsea will win today. They have no option. Fair enough. But yeah, make sure to get your score predictions into the live chat. If you are just tuning in, I will go with mine. I think that, we've seen a win from each side. I'm going to go for a draw. I don't think this rotated Chelsea side will be perfect. And I do think that there will be potentially still a few problems, especially at the start of the game. But I do think that Chelsea will end up rescuing a draw. I'll go 1-1. I think it'll be City to take the lead through Viviana Miedema again. And then it'll be in the second half, Chelsea, a goal from, I'll go Kat Macario off the bench to level it for Chelsea, a 1-1 draw, and it leaves things very even going into the Champions League game, the last run of 4. And to be honest, I can't wait to stop watching Chelsea versus Man City. It's been fun while it's lasted, and we've still got 2 games to go, but it will be nice to get out of it. Ishmael's gone. Ishmael has gone 3-1 to Chelsea. Fair enough. That's a pretty convincing win for the Blues. Someone says my prediction 2-1, but I don't know who will win that. But that's my score. Okay, so you think it's going to be 2-1, but it could be to City, could be to Chelsea. Fair enough. That is how close it's going to be today. I do think that today will be a lot closer. Very similar to the League Cup final, I think. David says, I'm not sure I think Chelsea are playing as well as Bompastor expected at this point in the season. I have to agree. This is usually the time where a Bompastor side are smashing opponents, are cruising past teams, and are really enjoying their football. But as you say, there's been a lot of tinkering. Bompastor tried to use the single pivot. It didn't work. So the performances for Chelsea really haven't been there when you need them to. It's been the opposite way round for Chelsea. In terms of how they started the season so strongly, and then starting to run out of steam a little bit at the end of the campaign. You want it to be the other way round. When you get to the business end of the season, you need to be winning the games. You need to be, convincingly win. Yes, they've won a trophy, and that was the big game. But they're nearly out of the Champions League. They've got a lot of work to do in that, and the performances in games that they've won haven't been brilliant. So I do think that Chelsea do need a reaction, and they do need to start picking up the performances, because eventually, you feel like on Wednesday night, it caught up to them. So I do think that Chelsea have got to be careful that they don't have too many, poor performances. They've got to react today. Today, I think, is vital that Chelsea put on a good performance. Even if they don't get the result, a better performance, it has to be a reaction from Chelsea. And they'll be looking for one. It is still a good side. It's rotated slightly, but that doesn't mean it's a poor quality side. Millie Bright's still in the 11, by the way. She's been ever present for Manchester City this season. Not for Man City, for Chelsea. Ever present for City. I said it again. Ever present for Chelsea this season. She's played all 16 games in the UWCL so far, and she does start again today. But that is a focused Bompastor who expects her side to deliver, expects her side to react. and to put City to the sword once again. We are going to get underway. It will be Aggie Beaver Jones to knock the ball back to kick us off at the Etihad. We've seen Chelsea versus Man City twice already, and for the third time in the space of a week, we will see Chelsea face off against Man City once again. Beaver Jones gets us underway at the Etihad, and Millie Bright will look to start Chelsea positively by smashing the ball upfield, giving something for Ash Lawrence to chase. That will run out of play and will box Manchester City into their own corner. Does look like, by the way, that for Manchester City, it will be Lazell at left back and Kirsten Kasperai will remain at right back. Lazell with the throw. Up the line. Miedemar holds it up well. It does really well to wriggle away from Jean-Francois, but Lawrence comes in and wins the ball back. Here is Millie Bright. Across to Charles. Charles back to Bright. Bright with a lovely switch of the play to pick out Carnereid. Looks to knock it inside. Intercepted by Alexandri. Park will go back to Lazell. Lazell tries to go to Park again. Rushes it a little bit and Chelsea do win it back. Here is Carnereid on the right hand side. Manages to find Carnereid again. Runs onto her own pass. Ball cleared by City, not convincingly, but the flag is up. And that is Vika Kaptein, who was offside in there. Carnereid kind of used her to bounce the ball off, or at least tried to play the ball to her. But again, just sloppy there, just not watching the offside. Poll in chat early doors, 40% of people think Manchester City are going to win this game. 50% going for Chelsea and 10% going for a draw. That's how close it's going to be. I think that, there's a poll as well that went out on our community tab, and that's pretty close as well. It is going to be a really competitive game. I think a lot of people are expecting Chelsea to, up the performance, but if they don't, then Man City, for me, will be right there to sweep up. And I just don't see anything splitting the two sides today. And I think it'll be all equal going into the fourth game between these two sides. Here is Caroline driving forwards for Man City. She's got Kirsten Kasperai on the overlap. Up against Lauren James. Kasperai puts the ball in. Looking for Miedemar. Carnereid and Park challenging. Park will win the ball somehow. Carnereid look to have that very comfortably. Lays out into Miedemar. Miedemar around the corner to Caroline. Caroline back to Miedemar. Big interception from Ash Lawrence, and Chelsea will look to come the other way. Here is Carnereid. Forced backwards, and we'll use Lawrence, who will then go back to Lucy Bronze, starting as at right centre half for Chelsea today. Phil says, afternoon all. Afternoon, Phil. Welcome to the stream. Long ball that from Charles, looking for Micah Hermano, but nothing coming from that. And Chelsea, they've got to find a way to get on the ball today. I think that's big. The possession, it's still pretty tight on paper in the Champions League game, but Chelsea just on the ball were really sloppy. Just too many misplaced passes, too many times they allowed City's press to get the better of them. And it's something we haven't really seen from Chelsea. Usually very, very good on the ball, even under pressure. Looking for that long ball today, the Blues, trying to get the likes of Aggie Beaver Jones in behind. I'm intrigued to see if that's going to work or not. Here's Millie Bright. Lauren James, back to Bright. Bright fires it into Beaver Jones, looks to go round to Hermano, dispossessed though by Alexandri. I think that's important to note as well that Pryor and Alexandri had a brilliant game in the midweek. They a marked improvement from both of them, and that had a big factor. And I do think that for City today, if those two can replicate that performance, it's going to make it very, very difficult for players like Beaver Jones or even anyone in that Chelsea attack to cause issues. I do think Lauren James is the player who needs to step up. Misplaced pass though from Miedemar, and Chelsea now look to come at Man City. Here is Beaver Jones. Out wide to Micah Hermano. Hermano will put the ball back in. It's floated. It's on top of Keating, but she does well to claim it. Big game for Kiara Keating as well. Has been dropped for the last few games, really. Especially the fact that Yamashita has done really, really well. She made some... I was very impressed with Yamashita's form. So to see Keating come back in for this one is an interesting decision. But clearly, there's been a conversation there with Nick Cushing. They've sat down, they've had a chat, and then they deem that she is ready to come back into the fold. Coombs is dispossessed by Jean-Francois. Here is Oriane Jean-Francois for Chelsea. Cuts it back, looking for Khan Reid. Huge interception by Yui Hasegawa, who looks to go out left to Miedemar. And City now look to break. Miedemar into Jill Rord. Rord goes out wide to Caroline on the right-hand side. Will she keep it in? Yes, she will. Caroline up against Charles. Really good footwork from the City winger. Puts the ball in, but Millie Bright will be there to sweep it up and fire it long, giving Aggie Beaver-Jones something to chase, but that will run out of play. Energetic start to this game, end-to-end stuff. Both sides showing some good signs so far. I think that Chelsea have looked much better, putting pressure onto that City backline, but City on the break look really, really dangerous. And that could... Now, that Chelsea got to be careful that doesn't catch them out. I think Caroline's a player who could do with a big performance there. I don't think she's played badly, but I still don't think we've seen the full potential of Caroline yet in a City shirt. Summer asks, where's Bunny? Khadija Shaw is still out injured. Similar to Ioba Fagino, who is also struggling with a knock. They were both picked up in the first game, the League Cup final between these two sides. And Kira Walsh for Chelsea is just rotated. I think that Chelsea need to find a way to get Kira Walsh into the side, because the single pivot... The problem is Chelsea don't work well with single pivot, and Kira Walsh doesn't play extremely well in a double pivot. So Chelsea have got to find a compromise, and at the moment that compromise is dropping Kira Walsh. But I do think that we'll see her come back into the fold. She's on the bench today. I think it's a mix of balancing minutes, but also finding the right system, finding the right way to integrate Kira Walsh into this Chelsea side. Bronze looks to find Hermano, but it's a stray again. And Chelsea have got to be careful that these sloppy passes, these misplaced attempts, don't creep in once again. Lawrence with a big tackle to stop that ball reaching Park, and Chelsea will once again regroup. City with a throw. Yeah, Bompastor asking a lot of Lucy Bronze today to cover in as that right centre half. As someone suggested earlier, we could have seen Shokanus play that role. We've seen her do that a couple of times last season under Emma Hayes. But Sonia Bompastor opting to play Bronze there. Here's Lauren James. Gives it to Micah Hermano. Hermano goes wide up to Lawrence. First touch is a bit heavy. Pryor then manages to clear it into her and will win herself a goal kick. Lawrence just got more aware there. Just needed that touch to be a little bit soft. Didn't need to knock it in front of herself. She gave Pryor a chance to step in. Sorry, gave Lazelle a chance to step in and win that ball. Didn't need to do that. Like it says, Kira's not fit. Well, yeah, she came off at half-time in the Champions League, the first leg of the Champions League. And, yeah, I think that just it's not worked out so far, but it will once Chelsea find a way. Which they will, because it's Chelsea, it's Sonia Bompastor, that they will find a way to work it out. But yeah, I don't think she's quite there just yet. Yeah, opening stages of this game pretty even, both sides getting on the ball. As I said, I expect today to be quite an even contest. When you've played the same side back to back, you kind of work out how they're going to play in the third meeting, and that can lead to this game being a little bit quite even, a little bit predictable at times. It's going to be down to which team can make the difference. Individual quality could prevail today. And that's a simple question of who will step up. Here is Caroline bursting away from Niamh Charles, and Caroline's in for City. Caroline to knock it past Hampton. Big save from the Chelsea goalkeeper. And Man City with a lovely through ball there. Caroline bearing in on goal. I said she needs a big performance today, and it was a really good give and go between her and Jill Rord. Caroline gets the better of Niamh Charles, runs across the Chelsea backline, and Hannah Hampton producing a big save to deny the Brazilian. Man City have themselves a corner. Biggest chance though so far going the way of Manchester City. Caroline failing to convert. And Hannah Hampton, well, she made some big saves on Wednesday night to keep Chelsea in the game. And in the end, it didn't matter either way. But another big stop there from England's number one. Short corner from City. Kasparai looks to find Caroline, intercepted by Lawrence. Lawrence managed to knock it up there. Foot race between Caroline and Hermano, and Caroline will win that one, thankfully for Manchester City. Keating looks to restart City's build-up. Hasegawa looks to find Park. Big interception that from Charles. Hasn't got enough on it, just about. It was a foot race between Hampton and Miedemar to get there. And once again, Hannah Hampton clears it. And furious there was Hampton with her fullback. Unsurprisingly so. Pass just didn't have... Just, well, it got to Hampton. So technically it did have enough on it. But just about. A lot closer than I think Hannah Hampton would have liked there. Here is Beaver Jones. Comes inside. Jean-Francois under pressure. Goes back to Millie Bright. And again, Chelsea just forced to go long with it. No one there to chase it though. That's the problem. Chelsea just keep going long, and there's no runners in behind. Either it's gonna go long, and people have got to anticipate that, or you keep it tight and you play it short. Contrasting game plans at the moment for Chelsea. Here is Laura Coombs. Alexandri looking for Lazell, intercepted by Carnereid. And out for a Man City throw. It's important that Chelsea settle in this game. They never got settled at the Joey. In the League Cup, neither side really settled down in the first 15-20 minutes. In this game, it's important that Chelsea managed to get a foothold in it, you feel. Being away at the Etihad, City have started well. They've got quite a big support in today. Chelsea got away with that. Sorry if I get this wrong. Arinanye, welcome to the stream, says Chelsea's going to revenge 3-1. Fair enough. I think someone else said 3-1 Chelsea as well at the top of the show. So, yeah, people thinking that Chelsea could end up winning this pretty nicely, which they've got the potential to do. If they turn up, if they perform, if the individuals play well, then yeah, there's a definite chance they can get something. Silly free kick to give away there from Ash Lawrence. Lazell does well. It was a soft one, but silly from Lawrence. Doesn't need to put the referee in that position there by grabbing hold of City's fullback. I mean, it's not enough to send us to the floor at all. Lazell makes a meal of it, but you always are. It's smart play from Lazell. Lawrence has got to be aware of that next time. And City now with a free kick and an opportunity to hit the front early doors. It looks, is it Jess Park over the... That's Yui Hasegawa over the free kick. Hasegawa will whip it in, looking for Pryor at the back post. He will win the header, but that will go out for a goal kick. Pryor just didn't really connect with that as well as she wanted to. Kind of just, got under it, headed it up rather than across. Just tried to knock it back across the penalty area and just got it all wrong. But yeah, watching that big save. Good use of the feet from Hannah Hampton to deny Caroline. Hannah Hampton being the first goalkeeper of the day, of the game to be called into action. Here is Pryor. Fires it down the line into Kasparai. Charles will win it though, and Chelsea will now come the other way. Micah Hermano is forced to go backwards. Charles goes back to Lauren James. Poor pass, one back by Caroline. James responds well though, wins it off Caroline, and is running rings round these City players. She's beaten 4, but the pass to Carnery was cut out well by Lazell. But that's what Lauren James can do. When she gets on the ball, she can cause problems. And she had City players taking each other out there. Lovely use of her feet from Lauren James. The way she manages to knock the ball past 2-3 players is incredible. Through ball just didn't come off. Better from Chelsea, and that's what they've got to do. Get players like Lauren James in the game. Get her involved. Ball out from Alexandri to Lazell. Lazell into Jess Park. Park to Coombs. Miedemar across the Road. Game's very wide today. Summer asks, Jess Park on? Yes, Jess Park is starting on the left-hand side for City today. I'd expect her to rotate with Caroline, as we see City do. We see those City wingers change about halfway through the first half. But yeah, so Park on the left-hand side today. Accommodates for bringing Coombs into the midfield just to share the minutes out a bit. Speaking of Laura Coombs, that is not a great pass and it will run out of play for a Chelsea throw. First 15 minutes, though, pretty even. City have kind of had the better of the... Well, had the better chance, really. The only chance they've had, but even so, still in a pretty even game. Chelsea are definitely in it. Rord goes back to Pryor. And we saw City do this away at Stamford Bridge earlier in the season. Was they had all the ball, they did a bit with it, didn't do too much, and then Chelsea just hit them on the counter. And that's exactly what it feels like today. It feels like Chelsea have gone back to that 4-4-2 that we saw at Stamford Bridge, where they just absorb pressure, they sit in, and then they'll try and hit City on the break, which they could. Carnegie has won it back. Can she keep it in the field of play? Yes, she can. Carnegie now bursting away for Chelsea. Looks to be Alexandri. Good tackle, though, from the City centre-half and captain, and that'll be out for a Chelsea throw. But that's what I mean. Chelsea are going to sit in today, absorb the pressure, let City have the ball, but when they get the opportunity, they're going to strike. HB says Lauren James looks like she's playing left wing back, at least positionally. Yeah, so it's she's playing left midfield more than, it's not really a left winger role either. But yeah, she is kind of floating. She does drop quite deep sometimes. But yeah, Chelsea utilising that 4-4-2 out of possession so that they can just absorb pressure and just let City have the ball. We saw this is exactly what Chelsea did at Stamford Bridge when they won that game 2-0. And they look to be adopting the same game plan today. Whether it'll work, let's wait and see. Here is Pryor. Back to Kiara Keating. Across to Alexandri. Fires it into Coombs. Coombs dispossessed by Jean-Francois, but Miedema will sweep it up. Ball back with the Manchester City goalkeeper, Kiara Keating. Keating fires it into Caroline. Touch isn't good enough though. Lauren James can now win it back and recycle it to Millie Bright. And Chelsea now have themselves on the ball. Bright to Bronze. Jean-Francois has got plenty of time to turn and swivel. City sitting really deep. The gap between City's first and second lines of pressure was absolutely huge. Here is Charles. Bright. Looking for that switch to the play again, but it's too narrow and runs straight through to Keating. And that switch to the play, that long ball from Chelsea just isn't working at the moment. Got to find a way to either make it work or try something different. Kiara Keating fires it up the pitch. Caroline looking for Caroline again. Strong from captain. Bounces out and falls to Neve Charles. Chelsea back in possession. Here is Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence into Jean-Francois. Captain, Hermano. Chelsea moving it better now. Lawrence. Carnegie. As Jean-Francois will use her. Finds Lauren James. Very deep here, Lauren James. Looks to play a switch out to Charles. Picks her out beautifully. Aggie Viewer Jones loses the contest to Pryor. Will fall to Charles. Charles looks to flip in Captain. Captain does well up against Yui Hasegawa. Has Charles in support. Will use Neve Charles. Neve Charles goes back to Millie Bright. Chelsea camped in Man City's half. Lauren James. Really good footwork from Chelsea's attack midfielder. 2 give and goes. Beautiful football. Will it bounce through? Not quite. Alexandri hacks it clear. Really good stuff between Lauren James linking up with her attacking teammates. Ash Lawrence beats Jess Park, puts the ball in. Pryor clears it. Only as far as Jean-Francois. This is a good period of sustained pressure for Chelsea. Hermano. Millie Bright. Better stuff from the Blues now. Wearing their cream away or third kit. Away kit is the away kit today. Jean-Francois. Hermano. Pounced on by Coombs and Miedema now will look to break. Pulled back by Jean-Francois. And that'll be a Man City free kick. And that's what Chelsea got to be careful of. When you have those sustained periods of pressure, when you're enjoying the ball, you've got to be careful that you don't lose it like that. Miedema pounces on it. Jean-Francois pulls her back. City free kick, simple as that. Stops Miedema breaking away. And City will now get their own opportunity to get themselves back on the ball. as Chelsea get back in shape. Alexandri plays it into Jess Park. Park dispossessed by Ash Lawrence. Brilliant tackle from the Canadian. Poor pass from Hermano, though, and gives it straight back to Man City. Chelsea really, I mean, not as poorly as they were on Wednesday, but again, a little bit sloppy in possession. Ball down the line from City looking for Caroline. Charles will sweep that up. And will it stay in? It has stayed in. But it will eventually run out for a City throw. 20 minutes though. Again, pretty even start. Neither side has really made a incredible charge to try and take control of this game. Jess Park manages to get past Ash Lawrence. Lawrence will get back in though for round 2. Park opts to go backwards. Philly says, lucky to put a yellow there, not even trying to be sneaky with it. Yeah, I thought that Jean-Francois was pretty fortunate there. Just gets dispossessed. Ball gives to Biedema and she deliberately just pulls her shirt. Bit fortunate to get away with that one. Especially with it being on the halfway line. City were looking to break away. Alexandri. Across to Lazelle. Lazelle plays a give and go with Laura Coombs. Overhit again though by Laura Coombs. And that'll run out for a Chelsea throw. You can tell Laura Coombs hasn't played much, recently. Just lacking a little bit of sharpness at the moment. Lawrence. Looking to go direct to Aggie Beaver-Jones. City being given a free kick there. Beat a captain, the culprit, bringing down... was it Hasegawa? But I'm not really sure there's much wrong with that. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, she trips her up. Fair enough. But more of a collision, but Captain definitely, sticks her leg out. Here is Park, swings the ball in for City, straight into the gloves of Hannah Hampton. And Chelsea survive. And I think Chelsea will just want to try and earn their way into this game. Risky business there, Hampton rolling it out to Lauren James, who does well, dribbling around her own penalty area. Very risky, though. But it pays off. Here is Hermano. Up against Yui Hasegawa. Dispossessed by Yui Hasegawa. But luckily that ball falls really kindly to Lucy Bronze. Mike Hermano got away with one there. Here is Jean-Francois. Again with space to run into. Knocks it out wide to Niamh Charles. Chests it down. Looks to flick it over Kasperite. Wins herself a throw. Wanted to take it quickly. No options giving. Instead goes back to Millie Bright. Someone says both teams sloppy on passes, Chelsea potentially more sloppy. Yeah, it's just one of those games, both sides making a couple errors. Poor pass there from Jean-Francois, pounced on by Rord. And again, City win it back, get the ball to Park, Lawrence wins it back. Both sides are really struggling to, not struggling, but neither side can really get a foothold on the ball. They keep winning it back and then losing it again. But that's where individuals can sometimes make a difference. Can someone can just retain the possession? Can someone just make that difference? Charles fires it into Lauren James. Brilliant piece of skill to beat prior to it. Looks to take on Kasperite. Does very, very well to hold on to the ball. Lauren James out against Kirsten Kasperite. Looks to burst past her. Puts the ball in. Alexandri forced to clear it. Chelsea corner. And that's what I mean. Is that, sometimes other players in that situation would have been dispossessed there. Lauren James, though, somehow finds a way to hold on to it. Does really well, use their body just to shield it away from Kasperite. Stands her up, just waits, and then commits, then goes, makes that burst, puts the ball in. Alexandri clears it away. Chelsea corner them. Hermano over it. Ball put in by Hermano. It's not dealt with by Keating. Jean-Francois has a go from the edge of the area. And, well, if she was in the Six Nations, that would have been brilliant. But she's playing football, and that is wild. Pay you up to the stream says where to watch. If you are in the UK, it is on BBC One. If you're outside the UK, it is a TV pick in the WSL this game week. So whoever does the WSL coverage in your region will be broadcasting the game. But yeah, in England, in the UK, it's BBC. For other countries, it will be whatever their sports channels are. Ash Lawrence with a throw for Chelsea then. as Phil says, BBC iPlayer, or if they've actually decided to put it on BBC One as well, which is good to see, rather than just like in the deep depths of the BBC iPlayer. Chelsea getting themselves on the ball now. I tell you what, Chelsea are using the single pivot today with Oriane Jean-Francois, and it's working really nicely. Hampton fires it out the pitch to Beaver Jones, which is interesting to see because they've struggled with using the single pivot with Kira Walsh in there. Jean-Francois, though, is the one that is propping that midfield up, and she's had a really, really good game. Here is Pryor. Kasperite. Ball cut out by Niamh Charles. City throw. Looked to go quickly to Caroline, decided against it, and instead will take her time over it. Kasperite. Still hasn't decided to throw the football. Ref's got to get on the hurry up here. Eventually does throw it down to Jill Roord. She's being hassled by Vika Captain. Pryor goes back to Kiara Keating. Keating fires it out to Lazelle. Really good ball from the City keeper. Here's Alexandri. Under pressure from Hamano. Does well to knock it out to Pryor. Pryor will bring it forwards for Manchester City. Here is Kasperite. Back to Gracie Pryor. Pryor enjoying a really good run in the team, with the absences of Rebecca Knack and Alex Greenwood. It's been a really, really good run for Gracie Pryor, massively helping her development, and a player that I think we've seen quite a lot. And yeah, credit to her. Very young talent, has looked pretty comfortable in that starting role for Manchester City, especially in such big games. Charles does well up against Miedemar, and it will be a Chelsea throw. Goes direct to Beaver Jones. Outlook gives it to Lauren James, but ends up playing it through her legs. Oh, actually, no, she left it on purpose, Lauren James, because it was going for a City throw, for a Chelsea throw. Go 1GP. Go when 1GP went to the stream. Says, we always used to beat Madrid. You watched it. We lost. You're a jinx. I apologise. But yeah, brilliant result for Real Madrid. Barcelona with work to do. But yeah, thank you to everyone who joined me on that stream. Here is Carnereed. Was she brought down? No, she wasn't. City will continue to play. Jill Roord fires it into Caroline. City on the counter then. Caroline up against Charles once again. Beats her. Superb from Caroline. Cuts it across looking for Miedemar. Brilliant interception from Lucy Bronze. And Chelsea survive once again. But on the counter against the Chelsea backline. Man City having a great time of it. Really good from Caroline. Manages to beat Niamh Charles once again. And as she looked to cross it into Miedemar, Lucy Bronze heads it out for a corner. Really good defending from Chelsea's centre-back. Does very well to deny Miedemar what would have been a golden opportunity to put Manchester City ahead. Yui Hasegawa over the corner there. Ball in, not a bad one. Hampton manages to claim it. And did look to play fast, but instead, understandably so, will just hold on to it, slow it down, and give Chelsea a chance to regroup. Phil says, great from Bronze, that was heading to Miedemar. Yeah, really good interception. Because Viviana Miedemar was sat there waiting, perching, just waiting for that ball to look like it's going to perfectly fall onto her head. Here is Beaver Jones up against Pryor. Pryor puts it out. Beaver Jones needs options, doesn't got any. Niamh Charles is going to come over and take the throw in instead. But yeah, Lucy Bronze done a really, really good job for Chelsea, covering as that right centre half. Bizarre throw from Niamh Charles and has just thrown it straight out for a goal kick, looking to find Aggie Beaver Jones. I think it's one of those where neither side's been perfect. I think the Chelsea are playing better, but they're still not been brilliant. City are playing pretty similarly to how they have in the other games. So yeah, a really interesting turn of events so far. Half an hour through, not much to split either side. Bronze dinks it into Carnereed. Now Chelsea's turn to come forwards. Johanna eating Carnareed, trying to skip past 1, 2, 3. She's done really well to hold on to the ball. Uses Jean-Francois into Captain. Captain does well. Manages to find Lawrence. Lawrence puts it in there looking for Beaver Jones. Will fall to Vika Captain. Big tackle that from Laura Coombs to stop Vika Captain from unleashing a shot. Here is Jean-Francois. Across to Millie Bright. Once again, Chelsea's turn to camp themselves into City's half. All 10 outfielders across that line. And Chelsea looking to create a chance. Lauren James dropping really deep here to get involved in the build-up. Does so well, though, to hold on to the ball. Players are just throwing herself at her. Jill Rord there threw herself at James, but James skipped past her, so Rord just kind of ended up falling over. Here is Lawrence. Lawrence back to Lauren James. Across to Millie Bright. Bright, Captain. Charles. Back to Vika Captain. Hermano. Good turn. Back to Captain. Chelsea going forwards now. Getting closer. Ball across the box. Can Carnareed react? Not quite. Good clearance from Lazelle. Lawrence looks to flick it back to Carnareed. Doesn't work. Hermano with a block shot. Jean-Francois keeps it alive. Hasegawa smashes it clear. And now Caroline looks to run at Chelsea once again. City on the break. It's 2-on-2. She's got Miedemar for company. Caroline versus Bright. Bright just want to stand her up. Caroline doesn't know which way to go. Just dancing into the... and it's in. Caroline scored. It's 2-4 from Chelsea and City lead once again. Completely switch off. And Caroline has her first goal in City Blue. Chelsea just sat off her. And I've just allowed her to practically roll it into the bottom corner. What a bizarre goal to concede. But City won't care. Caroline won't care. And Manchester City have the lead against Chelsea. Half an hour, it's been pretty close. It's been nip and tuck between the two sides. But City have the goal. Caroline with the breakthrough. And it's really good play. Again, it's Caroline on the break that does so well. But I have no idea what Chelsea are doing defensively. What a really bizarre finish. Caroline does so well. Millie Bright just stands her up. And then Bright just keeps backing off. Till they're practically, they're deep into the box. And she just passes it into the bottom corner. Hampton just doesn't react. I don't know why. Really bizarre stuff. Bright just allows her to get into the penalty area. It's so lax. It's so lazy from Chelsea. There's no just urgency. Bright and Charles just stand off her and let her shoot. Hampton, it is just rolled into the bottom corner. It's really well placed, but it was one of those where it looked like the ref had blown her whistle and the players had just all stopped. Really poor from Chelsea. City won't care. But City have the lead. Caroline with her first goal for Manchester City. But wow, what a bizarre finish. And well, while we're watching the replays, we missed a foul. And I think someone in a Chelsea shirt has been booked. I'm not quite sure who though. Hopefully we'll find out. But yeah, HB saying poor defending. Couldn't agree more. Philly saying Hampton gave her the full goal. No idea why she drifted so far. Yeah, I have no idea what was going on there. Hampton, I don't know why she stood at the near post. Just stand in the middle of your goal. A really weird one for Chelsea to concede. It just looked like Chelsea had stopped. Like something had happened, like just given up. And again, Jess Park skips past Lawrence. City looking to double their advantage. Millie Bright with a big interception. Fall to Kasparai, but that one will go straight into the gloves of Hannah Hampton. Simon says Hampton's vision blocked by Charles and Bright being so close in front of Caroline. Yeah, but the problem is that the pace on the ball shouldn't catch Hampton out there. I agree. She probably can't see. And if it was smashed, then obviously she can't react. But it was the fact that the ball was just rolled. I don't really know why she didn't react to it. Here's Alexandri, puts the ball across, looking for Caroline. Will find Caroline. Blocked though by Charles and into the gloves of Hannah Hampton. I have no idea what happened there for Chelsea. And once again they trail. And work to do for Bompastor's Blues. City, though, in the lead. And it's just a really bizarre goal. One of the, let's be like one of the, I mean, it's a really good finish. Like the actual finish is really good, but the pace on the ball has been one of the slowest goals I've ever seen, especially from that range. You know, she's good 10, 12 yards out there, and just passes it into the bottom corner. Bizarre one for Chelsea to concede. City, though, again, sprung well on the counter. Caroline on this right-hand side is really, really sharp. And Chelsea have got to respond. Here's Lauren James. Charles to Millie Bright. Bright switches the play to Ash Lawrence. Good ball out from Bright. Lawrence brings it down. Knocks it into the path of Carnery. Chelsea looking to respond pretty much immediately. Carnery against Pryor. Against Lazell. Does really well. Carnery puts it in there. Headed away by Alexandri. And out for a Chelsea throw. Better from Chelsea. Getting the ball down and playing football. Driving. That's what Carnery needs to do. Going direct. Causing City problems. Throw taken quickly. Lawrence. Intercepted by Miedemar. Another Chelsea throw on. But yeah, it's Chelsea, but in the game, it's an even game. Who was booked? Oh, it was Jean-Francois, who, by the way, who picked up the yellow card for Chelsea for another foul. That one on Laura Coombs. Not had a bad game though, Jean-Francois, so far. Chelsea just getting on the ball now, looking to regain a little bit of control on this game. Bright goes back to Hampton. Hampton with a poor pass, but Charles manages to get there just about. Millie Bright on the ball once again. Switches to play, looking for Carnery. Another brilliant ball, and Carnery is running down the right for Chelsea. She's got the better of Naomi Lazell. Can she cut it back? Big interception though. Lazell does well to get back in Chelsea corner. But that switch of the play is starting to work for Chelsea. Carnery is hugging the width out there, and Millie Bright is finding that switch beautifully. And Carnery is starting to run direct at Man City, making them think a little bit more. Chelsea corner, chance to equalise. And I think it's important that Chelsea do get an equaliser before the end of the first half. Make it as easy as possible for themselves. Hermano with the ball in, headed away, will fall to Jean-Francois, who aimed to shoot. Instead will flick it back in across the goal. Will fall to Millie Bright, who does shoot, blocked by Alexandri. Park will get it clear. And once again, it's Caroline versus Lauren James this time. But Lauren James will win that and sweep up. Good defending from Chelsea's left midfielder and attacker, Lauren James. She's way too deep, Lauren James, to impact the game. Is the other problem. I don't understand at the moment what's going on. Poor touch from Maggie Beaver-Jones. Chelsea don't get away with it, and now City will come forward once again. Caroline flicks it over the head of Charles and gives it to Kasperite. Lauren James comes in, pushes her over, and it's a needless free kick. And once again, City will take it. An opportunity to whip the ball in. And just Chelsea, again, as I said, it's not been bad. It's not as bad as it was in the midweek, but it's not that much better. You know, it is an improvement, but it's still not at the level that you'd expect to see from Chelsea. You know, it's not even at the level that we saw in the Subway League Cup final, and that wasn't particularly great. It was good, but it wasn't great. But again, Chelsea, just no reaction so far. Hasegar with the ball in. Not a bad one. Straight into the gloves of Hampton, though. Phil says, big difference between the teams is that City look fast and threatening when they get the ball. Chelsea very pedestrian again. Yeah, couldn't agree more. City, every time they come forward, City looks to cause problems. Chelsea, not doing that so far. As you say, it looks very relaxed again from Chelsea. I'm not sure why. It shouldn't be relaxed. Switch out wide again to Carnreid. Picks her out again. That switch is starting to unlock things for Chelsea. Carnreid versus Lazell. Ball into the box. It's over everyone. Captain will recycle though on the left hand side. Kasparov wins it off. That's too easy from Vika Captain. And now, again, Chelsea stuck in a 2-on-2 and Caroline's running at Millie Bright. Here is Caroline up against Bright. Again, just allowing her to run at her. Brings her down. There's a shot from range. And it's in. No. Oh, no. Oh, wow. City have scored and the referee's given a free kick. So the whistle had gone before City had scored. Wow. What a let-off. What a let-off for Chelsea. What a terrible decision. I mean, Chelsea just let it happen. But the whistle's gone is the reason I think Hampton didn't go for it. But wow. I mean, City are rightfully frustrated because that is a terrible decision. Why would you blow the whistle? You'd let the shot go over the bar or you'd see where the shot goes and then you blow the whistle. Why is she blowing it there? I have no idea. Chelsea have got away with another one because it should be 2-0 Manchester City. Well, instead, City have got the free kick. Wow. 5 minutes from the half. Chelsea got very fortunate with that one. Yui has to go over it. I can't believe that. I have no idea why she blow the whistle. That you because it's not like she blew it immediately either. Hasegawa then for City from the free kick. It's up, it's over the wall, it's off the crossbar. Hasegawa goes close for Man City. And well, they'll feel like in that whole sequence they should have come away with a goal. Ball in the back of the net, but the referee blew a whistle too early. And then from the corresponding free kick, Yui Hasegawa hits the bar. And Chelsea can breathe a massive sigh of relief. Bizarre. Really bizarre from Chelsea. Just not got going. Too relaxed, too lazy. And Man City are taking full advantage. Keating. Switch of the play to Miedemar. Miedemar to Rord. City coming forwards again. Caroline again. Goes to Kasperite. Kasperite to Caroline. Hasegawa. Ball through. What a ball that is. Through to Caroline. Cuts it back. It's wide. Coombs has put it wide. Massive opportunity for City to double their lead. And City are running right at the end of this first half. Brilliant ball through to Caroline. Cuts it back. And Coombs flicks it wide. Wow. Miedemar was running onto it. There's got to be a shout there. Miedemar's got to tell Coombs she's running onto it. But yeah, watching back, yeah, Caroline's fouled. Park then curls it into the top corner. And the referee's already blown the whistle. My oh my. Chelsea should... Millie Bright's also been booked, by the way, for a foul on Caroline. But Chelsea should be tuned down, as simple as that. If the referee doesn't make that terrible... If she doesn't make that decision, it's 2-0 City. And same problems for Chelsea. It's just not there. There's no desire. It's so flat. And for Man City, they're really enjoying their stuff. Franco says, what happened to Fowler? Fowler's just been rotated. She's on the bench for today. City using this as an opportunity just to rotate the minutes and give Fowler a rest. She's played a lot recently, so an opportunity for her to sit on the bench. Phil says, very lucky. The goal not allowed. And Jean-Francois could easily have been booked twice. Chelsea riding their back. Yeah, couldn't agree more. She should have been booked for stopping a counter-attack, and then she went and got booked 5 minutes after that. So, very fortunate. Now, Mike Amano has a go from range, but that's an easy catch for Kiara Keating. And yeah, that goal should have easily stood. And yeah, someone pointed out the goal's a world. Yeah, brilliant strike. I mean, Hannah Hampton doesn't dive for it because the whistle had already gone. So potentially she might have saved it, but it wasn't. I mean, I highly doubt it, to be fair. It's going top corner. It's a great strike. I have no idea why the whistle's gone. I don't know why she's blowing the whistle. Just play the advantage. If that shot from Park goes over, you then give City the free kick. If she scores, it counts. But Chelsea getting away with one. They've got to use it though. Usually when sides get away with one, they react. Chelsea just not reacting. Caroline on the ball again. Hasegawa. Down the line to Kasperite. Cut out by Lauren James. City corner. Frank says a bit early, went off last game with 20 minutes to go. Yeah, that's a good point. They did bring her off. But I think for City, they're prioritising, well, they're trying to balance out both the league and the Champions League. 1 minute of additional time away. But yeah, I think City realise now, after beating Chelsea 2-0 on Wednesday, they've got a massive opportunity to get through to the Champions League semi-finals. So they're kind of trying to half and half gamble a bit. City corner then, Yui Hasegawa over it. Ball in to the box. It's not a bad one. Headed away by Chelsea. Jean-Francois with a scuffed clearance. Manages to get it clear though. And Lauren James will look to break. James flicks it onto herself because no one else ran onto it. Looking for the ball through to Carnereid. But Keating's there to sweep up. Jean-Francois wins the header. Kasperite wins the next one. Jean-Francois can bring it down now and play. Hermano fires it into Captain. Captain running around in circles. Jean-Francois. Mike Hermano goes back. And you think that might be the end of the half. And that will be the end of the half. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 0 as we head into the break here at the Etihad. City find themselves a goal up. They should be 2 goals up. But a poor piece of decision making from the referee means that Jess Park's wonder strike will not count. But yeah, we are still, Chelsea still trailing here. And deservedly so. It was a game where, you know, neither side really got going. It was very even in the first 20-25 minutes. But at the end of that half, as soon as Caroline scored on the break, City were in control and Chelsea just did not react. And Kirsty Dowie, once again, has a lot of questions asked of what was a really bizarre decision. Now, I don't like to kick referees or, you know, kick them when they're down or anything, but, you know, this is the referee who didn't give a penalty against Katie Zellum when she saved a penalty for against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final last season. This is a referee who gave a horrendous penalty for Everton against Liverpool. You know, these are big errors that are starting to massively cost teams. You know, it's a ridiculous one. And yeah, I just think, you know, she's a FIFA referee. She's a very, very good referee. But these are high-profile errors we are talking about that are costing teams goals. You know, there's got to be questions asked. From a Chelsea point of view, you know, I'm you know, very fortunate, and Chelsea are very happy to get away with it. But from a neutral point of view, it's a horrendous mistake, and it's another one that goes on to Kirsty Dowie's record. Simon says, can referees re-decide a goal like allow the goal? No, unfortunately they can't do that. And even with the likes of VAR, they wouldn't have been able to overturn that, because once the whistle's gone, whatever happens after it doesn't count until, you know, it's the game stopped. So whatever, no matter what happened, as soon as that whistle had gone, that goal was never going to count. And Maria says the players seem frustrated with each other. Yeah, I think Chelsea do seem to be getting this is what confuses me about Chelsea, is they're getting frustrated and they're not playing well, but no one's reacting. No one in a Chelsea shirt is thinking, right, we need to up our game here. I'm going to take this game by the scruff of the neck and I'm going to change it. It feels, I get the feeling from Chelsea that there is a lot of finger pointing going on. It's very much, it's not my fault, it's someone else's problem. Because no one in a Chelsea shirt is stepping up. And it's shocking to see. You know, this is a side who have won champion. You know, needs to be with won league titles, who want to be winning the Champions League. It's not good enough. No one's taking responsibility for Chelsea. You look at the Caroline goal there, and immediately everyone is turning around and pointing fingers at each other. No one is stepping up and taking the responsibility. And I don't mean just for the goal, but just across the pitch for the performances in the recent weeks. Someone for Chelsea needs to step up and realise this isn't good enough. We need to change, because it just can't happen. Lots are going on in the chat. Let me get through it. HB says City really gave us Chloe Kelly and got a significant upgrade in Caroline. Fair enough, man. Yeah, brilliant piece of business. Caroline on her day is a game changer, and today she's proven that. She's been unstoppable today. Absolutely brilliant from Caroline, and credit to her. And Nduduzo says defence poor in the middle poor, attack poor. Yeah, and that's the problem for Chelsea, is that across the board between today and Wednesday, just not good enough. Just off it. The performance is below the standard across the pitch. I couldn't agree more. Jan Keys under the screen says Man City is so much better defensively than under Gareth Taylor. Yeah, I think they've, because what Cushing has come in and implemented a rest defence. So under Gareth Taylor, both the wing backs would bomb on, and it would just leave two centre halves and Yui Hasegawa. But instead, we're seeing the situational back three used. We see you end up with Lazel, Alexandri, and Pryor as your situational back three. Kasperai pushes further forward, and it's working really nicely. They look much more structurally strong, and it's really helping them because it means they're not as vulnerable to the counter attack, and they're conceding far less goals because of it. Frank says maybe Chelsea is stale after a great season. I think it's a good point. It does feel at the moment, it's hard to say because it's all been against the same opposition, but Chelsea do feel like they've just ran out of steam at the end of the season. As we get to the business end of the season, obviously there's still time for that to change, and there's a lot to be played for. Chelsea could come out in the second 45 and blow us away, but it just doesn't feel like that's going to happen. It doesn't feel like that's going to be the case. It really doesn't. But yeah. Work to do for Chelsea. A lot of work to do, and yeah, I think Chelsea are just lack the work rate is appalling. It is so lazy. I have seen football teams more lazy, but there's just it's just so lethargic, so slow, so. What did Phil? I think Philly said it was pedestrian. It is like that. You've got 11 players in Chelsea sets who are practically just strolling around the football pitch. Again, it brings me back to that point of no one is taking responsibility for the performance. New says after today's game, Leon looked the most complete to take the UWCL. Yeah, Leon are probably sat there laughing. I do think obviously Barcelona on their day are still ridiculous, and I think today was a bit of a one-off. It was a slightly rotated 11, but yeah, Leon will be fancying it because. I mean, it would take a miracle from Wolfsburg, but Chelsea are going to need a miracle to pull it back on Thursday. Lyon are very comfortable against Bayern. Arsenal have got to do a lot of work to put it back against Real Madrid. And Barcelona have shown this season that they're beatable. If you're Lyon and Joe Montemuro, you're sitting there this afternoon and you're having an absolute laugh. So yeah, I agree. I agree there. Some are saying Caroline causing problems for Chelsea. Yeah, and I think we've got to give Caroline her plaudits because I said in the build-up that I don't think she's been bad, but I think she could do a big performance. Today, been absolutely sensational. Has caused Chelsea so many issues. So direct, such a strong winger. And it's what do you expect? She's it's a high-profile, quality player who has come into the WSL with a point to prove. That's exactly what she's done. Coming off that right-hand side, she's been brilliant. Cutting in on that left has caused so many problems and has done really, really well. And I think that Chelsea have got to find a way to handle her because what she's doing is they're getting the ball to her on the break. She's running direct at Millie Bright and that Chelsea defence and is causing so many issues. Such a dangerous player. Yankees feel like Emma Hayes would get them to respond with more character. And potentially that is something that is an interesting point. I slightly agree with you in terms of I do think that reaction, the emotion from Emma Hayes would be much stronger than Bompastor's. Bompastor is a very well-mannered and patient coach. Whereas, Emma Hayes is very, you see that passion, you see that emotion on the sideline. And that is... Chelsea do just need a kick up the rear. Someone's got to spur them into life, and that's what Emma Hayes used to do. And that's also what Bompastor can do. I'm sure I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that Chelsea dressing room because I'd love to know what she's saying right now. Go1GB asked, do you watch women's rugby? No, I don't. I don't watch any form of rugby. Not the biggest fan. Yeah, just never really got into the sport and probably never will. But yeah, Chelsea could do. I think that for Chelsea, and again, I don't want to keep going on about Chelsea because, again, you have to praise Man City. They've played good football. It has been an even game, but in those latter stages of the half, Chelsea were the ones in control. Man City were the ones in control, apologies. And they played some really nice stuff. They knocked the ball around well, and they got in possession. Again, City have looked really strong. Chelsea, it's been sloppy, it's been slow. City, they've moved it quickly, and on the break, they've looked really, really strong. And credit to them because they deserve to be leading. They should be 2-0 up. I know we talked about that disallowed goal quite a lot at the start of the half time, but it's a shocking decision to rule that goal off. Well, not rule the goal off, but to blow the whistle early before the shot's been taken. It's a really bizarre one. But Chelsea have to respond. It's been way miles off the standard yet again, and a big 45 for the Blues. New says, do City have a good enough bench to keep this going and in the UWCL? It's a really, really good point. And I think that and this is where in the second half, City are going to have to work out where their priorities lie. Do they focus on winning this game because they need to win to stay in the top 3? Or do they now start thinking about that game on Thursday? If you ask me, I think they'll prioritise today. I think that they will put all their eggs into winning this game because it would be a massive win if they pull it off. And then because they've got the 2-goal advantage on Thursday, they will just try and hold on at Stamford Bridge. That makes the most sense to me. I think they'll prioritise this game, but it's a good point. Young Key says, I feel like Lucy Bronze and Millie Bright should have enough experience to get that character Emma Hayes got into Chelsea. Couldn't agree more. I think that, as you say, this is now when for Chelsea, the experienced players, the game changers, need to step up. The leaders, Millie Bright, Lucy Bronze, need to suddenly go, right, this isn't good enough. We need to play better. Lauren James, Micah Amano, the game changers. They're players who can make the difference for Chelsea. They need to realise that. They need to make the difference. They need to kick into gear. Lauren James, on her day, can turn a game on its head just like that. And she needs to do that again for Chelsea. She really does. And again, I'm not saying Chelsea can't fully rely on individual quality, but when you are struggling, when you're not playing your best football, sometimes that's what you need. You need someone to step up and say, right, I'm going to win this game for my football team. And that's all it takes. If someone in a Chelsea shot on that football pitch decides they want to win it, Chelsea can win it. And it's I would expect a big reaction in the second 45 minutes here from Chelsea. Because not good enough. Over the last game and a half, not good enough from Chelsea. But yeah, let's see what Bompastor can come up with. For City, they will just keep doing what they're doing. Keep, stick with it. Keep doing the same thing and see what happens. Because they're playing some good stuff. They've beaten Chelsea once. They're looking to do it again. Yeah, they won't change a thing. And it's up to Chelsea now to adapt. It's up to Chelsea to make that difference. Wow, a lot going on. Go on 1GP asked, do Chelsea start looking over their shoulders or have they done enough for the title? It's one of those where they still have the gap, but what it means is that Chelsea can't make any more slip-ups. That's the situation they put themselves in. If Chelsea lose today, they cannot afford to drop points again. Because if they, as it stands, the gap would be 5 points to Arsenal, and if Man United win later, then to Man United as well. And at that point, if Chelsea were then to lose again, the gap closes to 2. And that's way too dangerous. So I think I wouldn't say they've done enough, but they won't be too worried about it just yet. But it does mean they lose their buffer. They haven't lost their whole buffer, but they lose quite a big margin. The difference between 5 points and 8 points is quite big. Because with 8 points, you have 2 opportunities to slip up before you're in trouble. With 5 points, you only have 1 opportunity to slip up and then you're in trouble. So I think that Chelsea will want to get at least a draw today. But yeah, I think that it's one of those where Chelsea will, on the form they're in, they can't really afford to slip up, because they slip up here, Man United will fancy themselves to beat Chelsea, and suddenly the gap's 2 points. So Chelsea won't want to run the risk of, somehow throwing away the title. It would take a lot, but you never know. Phil says Arsenal have very favourable running. Wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal slip up. That's the thing, is that even if Chelsea do slip up, Arsenal, Man United have to be pretty much perfect. So, yeah, I agree with you there. Is that even if Chelsea do start to put some silly performances and silly results in there, I still don't think that they'd be in trouble, because if Arsenal and Man United to be perfect, it would be a big ask, I think. Especially if Arsenal are still balancing Champions League, and Man United has got FA Cup in there as well. It makes things very, very difficult. Yankee says, fine captain actually showing that willingness to go forward and be threatening. Maybe I'm biased. I think Vicky Captain's a top player. And Chelsea using that single pivot again today means that she has been playing further forward. But I do agree. I think she's probably been one of Chelsea's best players today. I mean, the bar is low, but I do think Captain has shown a bit more positivity. No changes at half-time for Chelsea. To be fair, that doesn't surprise me, because again, I think Chelsea will prioritise the Champions League game. Chelsea don't want to be bringing in the likes of Maya Ramirez or Kat Macario. Chelsea want to be resting those big players. Sondi Baltimore's another one. They don't want to be bringing those kind of players in. They want to be resting them up, and they'll be hoping that they don't need them. But yeah, and as Phil says, Arsenal and United have got to play each other, so they can't both be perfect till the end of the season now as well. But we are about to get underway here at the Etihad for a huge second half. Chelsea needing at least a goal if they want to remain unbeaten in the WCL. We are underway. Man City kicking us off. Huge 45 minutes for the sake of both these guys' seasons. City looking to start fast. Lawrence just about knocks that back to Hampton. But a win for City today keeps the pressure on Arsenal and Man United. A loss for City today will put them in trouble. Chelsea looking to respond immediately, but Mike Hermano slipped over. Chelsea had a 2-on-2 situation if Hermano had kept her footing. But what a waste. Koeman had got a good opportunity to strike early in this second half. Charles wins the foot race with Caroline and goes back to Hannah Hampton. Ball into Bright. Charles. Captain. Here is Millie Bright. Bright to Bronze. Chelsea just looking to get themselves comfortable into this second half, just to settle down a little bit, get on the ball, try and just put City under a little bit of pressure. Lauren James wins the challenge with Coombs. Ball will run out of play. Good shielding from Pryor. From Man City throw. Dave said it's good for Chelsea to lose, maybe good for young players to grind. I get what you mean in terms of, losing a game does give you that opportunity to reflect. It gives you that opportunity to grow. But when you're a top side and you're pushing for trophies and you're pushing for results, you don't really have that time to sit there and allow yourself to lose. But I get what you mean in terms of the actual, if you look at the bigger picture, losing today wouldn't be a terrible, terrible result. But I just think for the sake of momentum, for the sake of a good performance, Chelsea need it. Because if they don't manage to turn the tie around on Thursday in the Champions League, they'll go into the back to normality, because they'll go and they will be back to playing teams that aren't Man City, but they'll go back into that come out of this Man City quadruple games with 2 or 3 losses in there, and that's not good. That's really not good for Chelsea. I expected the City result to be the one that Chelsea would lose and react to. Lauren James from range straight at Kiara Keating, well claimed by the goalkeeper. But it's a shot, and that is important for Chelsea. It's a shot on target. Lauren James getting on the ball, cutting inside, pulling the trigger. Better, more positive. But yeah, I understand your point of that. If it's good for Chelsea players to experience that losing feeling, but saying that they lost on Wednesday, I think there should have been a reaction today. By the way, in the Other game in the WSL, Leicester City are leading Brighton by 2-0. Really good stuff from Amandine Mikel's side. 30, just over 35 minutes played there. And Leicester leading by 2-0. Brighton being stunned at the moment by a Leicester side who I think have got a lot to prove next season and at the end of this season, to be fair. Because they are a very, very good side. They shouldn't be where they are on the table. But results are starting to turn their way, you feel. And they are nearly picking up a big result there against Brighton. Hannah Hampton on the ball for Chelsea. Jean-Francois goes out wide to Ash Lawrence. Lawrence, pass blocked by Park, but it does still get to Carnareed. Beaver Jones on the spin. Goes to Vika Captain. Captain into Carnareed. Carnareed, good cut back. Manages to find Beaver Jones. 1-1. Beaver Jones puts Chelsea back level. Really good reaction from the Blues. Captain wanting to celebrate, but Beaver Jones telling her to get back in and play football. Really good start. Chelsea have started the second half much better. A really good response. And look at that. That is laser focus from Chelsea. Get the goal and get back in. Really good response from the Blues. And this is what we expected. Getting on the ball. Getting back in. Really good football down the right-hand side. Ball into Captain from Beaver Jones. Captain lays it into Carnareed. Lovely little cutback to beat Pryor. Plays it into Beaver Jones. Lovely little touch and a good finish. And Chelsea are level in this football match. A big goal for the Blues. Responding very quickly after the break. And well done. As Phil says, great from Carnareed. Lovely little chop back. Lays it into Beaver Jones. And Aggie Beaver Jones with a really, really well taken finish. Yeah, much better from Chelsea. Really good reaction. It's what they needed. But also I like that from Beaver Jones because there's a few things there I like from Beaver Jones. She played the pass from Captain, and rather than do what Chelsea did in the first half, and which was, stand there and go, oh wow, what a pass, I'm really good. She just carried on her run. She played the ball and carried on her run. And then even after the goal, Vika Captain wanted to run off and celebrate, but Beaver Jones pulls her back in and tells her that they've got to go, get back to the centre and get playing again. I like that. And that's what, when I said I wanted to see that difference, that Chelsea were too lazy and it was too relaxed, they're the kind of things I mean. Those little things that win you football games. Don't go off and celebrate and, a knee slide in front of people. Go get the ball and go get another goal. I really like that reaction. Summer says Sonia must have had a crazy half-time chat. I wouldn't be surprised. Really good reaction. Chelsea have got to build on it now. Ryan Toon under the stream says, how are you doing today? I'm doing well. Really good stream and a brilliant result earlier in the Liga F as we watched Real Madrid beat Barcelona, and Chelsea and Man City playing out another really strong game here as Chelsea get themselves back on level terms. And Chelsea have won themselves a corner. Really good response from Bompastor's side. Come out in this second half with a point to prove, I think. Really good from Vika Captain as well, winning herself a corner. It was a really weird one. Honestly, I couldn't have called that either way. Going 1GB asks, are you streaming Villa United? Unfortunately not. If there were two of us, then we might have, but the fact that it's just me today, not doing all three. Corner for Chelsea, it bounces around, but it's eventually cleared. But yeah, obviously that West Ham Tottenham was on TV, and so is Villa United later. As much as I'd love to do it, I don't know how incredible it would be. You guys don't want to sit with me for 6 hours watching football today. But yeah, that'll be a good game, big game for United. They need to keep the pressure on. Villa need something. They've played well. They need some points. It'll be interesting to see if they can find a reaction, get something from Man United. Man United, though, need to bounce back from that loss to Liverpool last weekend. Niamh Charles pounced on again. Niamh Charles has really struggled today. And here comes Viviana Miedema. Miedema for City. Let's fly. Good save from Hampton. And well claimed as well because Caroline was rushing in. But Niamh Charles has really struggled today. Has to be said. But yeah, I do think that it has been. Niamh Charles hasn't featured much with Baltimore playing as that left back, but I think Niamh Charles is a quality fullback, and on her day she's won a top quality, but today not been good enough. Lauren James though, that is much better, feeding the ball through to Johanna Eating Carnareed. Carnareed cuts the ball back, looking for the captain. What a save from Kiara Keating. Brilliant football from Chelsea. Once again down the right-hand side. Captain lets fly. On rushing into the penalty area. And a huge save from Kiara Keating. Carnereid cuts it back to the penalty spot. Captain fires it. And a brilliant reaction from Manchester City's goalkeeper. Lots of questions have been asked about her in the last couple of months, Kiara Keating. But that is a huge stop to keep this game level. What a save. Corner for Chelsea. Back in the penalty area. Rord will get on the end of it. Looks to flick it to Hasegawa. Lauren James will get there though. And manages to recycle it. Chelsea have responded superbly. Lorette, welcome to the stream once again. Yeah, also confirming that Leicester are 2-0 up at Brighton. Yeah, real shock that. Really good stuff from Leicester. Brighton with a lot of work to do in that second half. But wow, what a reaction from Chelsea. What I've seen in the last 8 minutes of this second half has been better than anything I've seen across Wednesday's game and the first half. Chelsea coming forwards again. Vika captain slots in Johanna Reeting Carnereid, and that is just wide. Huge opportunity for Carnereid, and it looked destined to find the far corner. And it just bends away past the far post. Brilliant ball from captain. Carnereid. Fire. Oh, hit the post. My apologies. Carnereid looking to find the far corner and firing against the far post. Inches away from Chelsea 2, Man City 1. And Chelsea are making a change. Erin Cuthbert's coming in for Micah Hamano. And Vika captain's being pushed on. Yeah, it wasn't Hamano's best game, to be honest. But yeah, 10 minutes in. So Bompastor's got a reaction, and now she's also making a change. Chelsea are coming for this game now. City have just got to... You feel like they've just got to hang in there. Really fast-paced stuff from Chelsea. Phil, someone says Chelsea have just had another chance, way too close. Chelsea definitely on top right now. Yeah, really good response. Last 10 minutes, this game has been absolutely brilliant. And that is what we expect from Chelsea. The Chelsea standard is right there. Phil says this is the best Chelsea have looked since early January. To be honest, that's not a bad point at all. Well, as you say, when you consider the Brighton game in there, the Everton ones as well weren't particularly brilliant. The win at Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, that slim margin 1-0. So yeah, and then obviously the City trifecta that we've seen so far. But yeah, couldn't agree more. Chelsea have looked quality. Long ball from Lauren James looking to pick out Carnereid. But also, it's the players that are performing, and it's Carnereid again coming forward for Chelsea. Carnereid to Jean-Francois, who has a go just over the bar. But yeah, it's the players that are responding for Chelsea. Which players have struggled recently? I think Carnereid's the big one. Carnereid's been brilliant today. A player that has been out of sorts recently, has massively underperformed since her early season form, has been superb in this match. Should have had a goal, hit the post, a minute ago. And Chelsea playing well, but they still have got to watch City on the counter. Caroline running at Charles, but that is much better for Niamh Charles, and she wins it back. And now Millie Bright is marauding out of defence. But Cuthbert's had enough of that and tells her to go back and I'll take the football. Someone says City are probably a bit shot and take, I suppose. Yeah. What's happened is City haven't changed. And this is the thing we've seen. City haven't dropped their standard. They're not playing better, they're not playing worse. The difference is Chelsea have got better. And it makes City look worse, but City haven't changed anything. Although they are now making a change. Nick Cushing reacting to Chelsea's reaction. And Laura Coombs is replaced by Mary Fowler. So Mary Fowler will go out onto the left-hand side and Jess Park will go back into middle midfield. And that's the difference between Nick Cushing and Gareth Taylor. Is Gareth Taylor would have probably sat there and just let Chelsea run riot. But Nick Cushing, he's reactive and he's responded to Chelsea. And that can be big for City, bringing Mary Fowler into this football match. Fowler, Hasegawa, brought down by Cuthbert, Man City free kick. This is going to be a really exciting last half an hour. But yeah, Credit to Chelsea, credit to Bompastor. They've responded absolutely brilliantly. It's exactly what they need to do. And, they're doing very, very well so far. Long way to go, though. And City are still in this game if they want to beat. Lazell, Park. Chelsea have just got that bit between their teeth again. The pressure is incredible. The intensity has just risen tenfold. Here is Lazell, though. Roared. Caroline looks to find Kasparai, but just runs ahead of it. And Lauren James looks to turn Chelsea the other way. Vika Captain into Aggie Beaver-Jones. City have got numbers back very quickly. Chelsea have only got Beaver-Jones and Captain up there, so Aggie will slow that down and wait for support to arrive. Jean-Francois into Millie Bright. Lucy Bronze. Here is Hannah Hampton. Someone says Myra and Kira looking to come on. Chelsea smell blood now. And that's why they're bringing on the big guns. Because they know they've got a real good opportunity now to win this game and put out a pretty big statement. They've rested their players. The fact they've managed to rest Cuthbert for 55 minutes. And the fact they've managed to rest, Ramirez and Walsh for 30 is really, for 60, is really strong. So they'll be happy with that. And it means, and they don't, to be fair, they've still got 5 days as well until the Champions League game. That's why they're less reluctant to make subs than, like Barcelona this morning, for example. Very intense game, couldn't agree more. Hasegawa robbed of possession by Aggie Beaver-Jones, and Chelsea looked to counter. Here is Erin Cuthbert. Cuthbert goes to Carnereed, must score, doesn't score. How has Carnereed not scored that? Huge opportunity. I mean, it was blocked. It hasn't been given as a corner. Oh no, it has now. Wow. Carnereed has to score. Great ball from Cuthbert. Touch. Has to go to the right. How has she not scored? Is it a block from Alexandria or save? Or here we go. Carnereed saved. Kiara Keating with a big save. But Carnereed has to score. As someone said, she's gone the wrong way. Yeah. She's tried to go back across all the bodies. She should have just gone onto put it into the right-hand side. Lauren James corner for Chelsea. Not a bad ball. Header towards goal, though, caught by Keating. Half an hour to play. Chelsea in complete control of this tie now. And Johanna eating Carnereed should have scored in this football match. Again, it's better from Carnereed, but she has to score. She's hit the post. That is a glaring opportunity to put Chelsea ahead. And she's not taken either of them. City looking to come the other way. Here's Mary Fowler. And on the break, Man City still looking dangerous. Fowler from range blocked by Bright, and Hampton will sweep up. This is now going to test Man City. Can they hang in there? Can they still look dangerous on the break? Can they push Chelsea and get a result? Myres and Kira Walsh still waiting to come on. The ball hasn't gone out of play yet for the changes to be made. Lauren James into Charles. Charles Beaver-Jones. Really good feet from Aggie Beaver-Jones. Forced herself backwards a little bit there, though. Here is Carnereed causing issues down the right-hand side once again. Cuts the ball across. Big tackle from Lazell. Chelsea corner. And another goal, by the way, at the King Power. Leicester City lead Brighton by 3-0. Wow. What a shock in that first half. Double change then for Chelsea. Aggie Beaver-Jones, the goal scorer of Chelsea's equalizer, is going to make way. And Maya Ramirez is going to come on for it. And then the other change is going to be Kira Walsh coming on. And I presume that'll be for Oriane Jean-Francois, but I will wait to see. Yes. So Jean-Francois and Beaver-Jones replaced by Kira Walsh and Myra Ramirez as Chelsea push to complete the comeback. They've put the pressure on Man City. They've been the dominant side in the second half, and now they're pushing for that winner. Lauren James with the ball in. Headed away by Alexandri. Will be swept up, though, by Lawrence. Rahul says, how many corners in this game are you predicting? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know how many corners we've had so far. And I don't know how many corners are going to happen. That's a great ball over the top from Lucy Bronze. Carnareed goes back to Lauren James. Lauren James will cut inside for Chelsea. Big block from Hasegawa. Will fall to Cuthbert now. Chelsea piling on the pressure. Cuthbert looks to put it back in. Blocked, though, by Lazell again. And will be another Chelsea corner. And the away fans sound their appreciation for the Blues. They know they've got to get behind their side now as they push for this winner. At this rate, you feel City would be lucky to hold on to a point. Lauren James getting the away fans going as she gets over to the other side of the pitch, put in another corner. James over it, ball in, not a bad one. Will fall to Erin Cuthbert on the edge of the area. Big block though. City getting bodies in the way. Talk about body on the line defending. Another big block from a City defender. Here's Niamh Charles. Cuthbert. You feel at this rate it's a question of when, not if, will Chelsea find this second goal. But football's a funny game sometimes. They've still got to be careful of City on the break. But we really haven't seen Man City venture forward much in this second half. Ball will be put in behind. Keating just about deals with it though. Captain will pounce. Here comes Vika Captain across to Carnareed. Chelsea are in again. Captain, how is it just wide? No saves again. What a save from Kiara Keating. She is keeping this game level. Brilliant football from Captain and Carnareed. And what a save from Kiara Keating. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous reactions. Wow. Absolutely incredible from Kiara Keating. Ball in from Lauren James. Can someone in a Chelsea shirt flick it goalwards? Cuthbert has a shot. Blocked again. Bronze flicks it back into the penalty area. Roord will get it clear. Ashley Lawrence will sweep up. Here's Millie Bright. Kiara Keating is keeping Manchester City in this football match. Lauren James dancing round players. Myra Ramirez has a shot blocked again. Another Chelsea corner. This is relentless. Lawsey, correct me if I'm wrong. We're loving your commentary in Australia. Thanks, go Chelsea. Thank you very much for the praise. And yeah, Chelsea are piling on the pressure in the second half. Phil says it's looking like a Keating 0-0 game because they're doing something daft soon. It's been the story of our season. Lauren James ball in. Head up, kept alive, hacked away by Kasperite. To be fair to her, what a brilliant performance from her so far though. Fowler, City looking to break now. Ball looking out wide for Jess Park. And this is the problem that Chelsea have got to worry about. Is Man City on the counter-attack. Looking dangerous, but brilliant defending from Vika Captain. Vika Captain, take a bow. What a performance from her today so far. What a second half from Chelsea already. Myra to score soon. That's a good shout. And Keating has hit the deck hit for Man City. What a save. I was watching that back. The one to deny Captain. What a save from Kiara Keating. As Maria says, nicely a reaction from the girls. Yes, so, couldn't be more spot on. Brilliant stuff from Chelsea. Brilliant performance. And you feel like this is Keating. She might be injured, to be honest. But this also has a familiar feeling of potentially just giving City a break. Because it has been relentless pressure from Chelsea in this second half. They have not let up. 23 minutes to go. Can Chelsea find the breakthrough? Going to be interesting. Nick Cushing using this as an opportunity to talk to his players, to try and sort something out. For Chelsea, it's very much keep doing what you're doing because you are causing them all sorts of problems. And that is exactly what is happening. But yeah, I think that's just a bit of discussion as to who is doing what's going to happen next for the Blues. Who is it going to be that steps up for Chelsea to find this winning goal? They've had all the pressure. This game, it's been a game of two halves. Man City, the better side that it was in the first, Chelsea all over them in the second half. And Phil mentioning the 70th minute keeper break. It is ridiculous how you're just allowed to do it. There's got to be. I mean, I say there's not a way to. You can't really tell if it's a real injury or not. But yeah, I get what you mean. But the thing is, every club does it, so I guess it kind of even, across the sea, it's one of those things with like poor decisions as well. It does even itself out. Pass up the line blocked and out for a Chelsea throw. And there's a manager's meeting on the City touchline between Cushing and his assistants because they've got to work something out to stop this Chelsea barrage. Lawrence looks to go up the line to Ramirez. Really good stuff from the Chelsea number 7. Big tackle from Lazell, but it doesn't stop Ramirez. It just halts her momentarily because Maya Ramirez keeps going. Puts the ball into the box just over the head of Vika Captain. Caroline will get there first. Beating Charles to it. Kasparai looks to clear it, only as far as Rord. Caroline, Kasparai, Messi from City, but they have won themselves a throw-in. Things are hotting up in the last 20 minutes. Kasparai with a throw. Here is Millie Bright, hooks it out of play. Going on GP, so you're younger than Jack? Yes, I am. Kasparai with a throw. Chelsea. Yes, they've had loads of pressure. Yes, they've done very well to have loads of chances, and Kiara Keating has pulled off some phenomenal saves. But they've still got to find that goal. This is not job done yet. Alexandri for City. And City finally is getting themselves on the ball for what feels like the first time in this second half. Broad out to Kasparai. Caroline looks to go back to Kasparai. Really good defending from Lauren James. And Chelsea now, it's a poor pass though. And Park picks up on it. Here's Kasparai. Kasparai looking for Miedemar, cut out by Bronze. Captain looks to go the other way, pounced on by Hasegawa. Captain will pick it up again. It's Carnery's turn to run at City once again. Alexandri picks it up. It's become very, very scrappy in the last few moments. City though getting themselves onto the ball a little bit more now. Charles tries to win it off Caroline, fails. Kasparai, cross the box. Fowler for City, scuffs it. Miedemar falls over the ball. What a let-off for Chelsea. City with a golden opportunity. Mary Fowler is cut back by Caroline. Fowler scuffs it. And then Miedemar falls over the ball. Lazell looking for Fowler, finds Fowler. City responding. Ball in. Looking for Park, headed away by Bright. Captain gets it clear, looking for Ramirez. Alexandri does well to muscle her off and knock it back to Gracie Pryor. Wow. Here is Park. City are coming on strong now. Big interception from Bronze. Here's Bright. Bright will smash it long. And just like... It's like Chelsea just came and went in this second half. Last couple of minutes, City just kept them where they are. Long ball though, looking for Ramirez. Does well, Myra Ramirez. Sends in Carnereid. Carnereid, will she win that foot race? Not quite. And Keating's forced to put it out for a throw. Chelsea in the ascendancy, but Man City just tapping them on the shoulder, letting you know they're still in this game. They're still there, and they're still a big threat on the counter. Here is Ash Lawrence into Myra Ramirez. Bounces it to Lauren James. James, great turn to spin Rord. Does really well to avoid one foul. Lauren James cuts inside. The shot's not good enough though. Doesn't get enough curl on it and goes out for a goal kick. Aussie Fowler is always dangerous. She's in cracking form. Fowler's been brilliant recently. Has really stepped up in the absence of Lauren Hemp, in the absence of Khadija Shaw. Fowler has delivered for Man City. And credit to her. She's done very, very well. Had a phenomenal season. Davis has probably been a great addition. Yeah, obviously coming up through the ranks in the youth. Has done really well to adapt to senior football very nicely. And credit to her because she's come in for some big games this season and has performed pretty well. Here is Lazell. Fowler. Back to Lazell. Bronze beats Park to it and Erin Cuffett will pick up on it. Lauren James balances it on her head and manages to get through, but pounced on by Alexandri. Lauren James with a big tackle on Kasparai. Caroline will get to the ball though as it ran loose. Caroline goes back to Kiara Keating. Keating to Alexandri. Alexandri under pressure from Carnareid. Ball out wide to Gracie Pryor. Pryor to Hasegawa. Kasparai. Bronze cuts that out. Here is Charles. Charles as well win a throw. This game is just balanced out in the last kind of 5 minutes or so. Chelsea aren't as dominant as they were. It's one of those where sometimes in football you do have to take advantage while you're on top. If not, you kind of run out of opportunity. Still time though for either side to find a winner. Niamh Charles with a throw in for Chelsea. Just over 15 minutes to play. Charles goes long, looking for Lauren James. Will fall to Carnareid. Carnareid does really well to hold it up against Pryor. Knocks it out wide to Ash Lawrence. Ashley Lawrence versus Fowler. Lawrence into Carnareid. Back to Ash Lawrence. Fowler with a big interception though. And we'll put that out. Well, Park can keep it alive, but Bronze will get there instead. Bronze looks to find the penalty area. Hasegawa gets there first. Cuthbert does really well to see off Park. Hasegawa coming in as well. Really good from Erin Cuthbert in there to retain the ball. Bronze darting into the space. Opens up in front of her. The pass isn't good enough though. And City look to spring forward. Hasegawa releases Caroline. Foot race between her and Charles. Niamh Charles will win that one though. And Chelsea will get away with it. Here is Millie Bright. Kira Walsh. Bright on the ball. Here's Lauren James. James to Bronze. Back to Millie Bright. Bright with a lovely switch of the play. Looking for Carnareid. Cut out though by Lazelle. Here's Fowler. Fowler against Lawrence. Brilliant from Mary Fowler. Bronze steps in though to stop Park getting there. Here is Lauren James on the ball now for Chelsea. James out wide to Carnareid. Carnareid darts into the penalty area, cuts it back. It flies across the face of the goal and straight out the other side. Picked up by Caroline. Cuthbert does well to win it back. And the game is stopped because it's a head injury to Caroline. Cuthbert's not having it because I don't think she thinks it was a head injury. Davis is Charles Barson and Caroline. Initially, I didn't think so in this game, but she looks to now have the better of her, which is really bizarre. But yeah, this was the ball here from Carnareid. Does well to beat Lazelle. Fires it across the penalty area. No one in a Chelsea shirt throws himself at it. Really bizarre one. I mean, that is not a head injury from Caroline. Erin Cuthbert, again, I understand the thing about the head injury rule. If it is a head injury, stop the game as quickly as possible, make sure everyone's all right. But it really annoys me when players don't injure their head and they go down holding their head. Because Cuff hasn't touched her head and Chelsea still had the ball. You know, Caroline knows exactly what she's doing. And that's Chelsea will get the ball back through a drop ball. A strong attendance for the Blues, who have travelled to the Etihad. And now Chelsea will restart the game with the drop ball once Caroline is all right, which I'm pretty sure she will be because I don't think she was touched, to be honest. Anyway, hopefully she's all right. But what a reaction. She sat up having a drink of water, having a great time. Nothing wrong with her head. Anyway, so she will go off the pitch, I presume. And City are readying another change. That is Lily Murphy, ready to come into this game to try and make a difference. And that is also, there's another change, I can't quite see who it is. I think it's Laura Weinreuther coming in. Yes, it is. So City making another couple changes to try and hang on in this game and try and make a difference. Davis says, when do they play Charles at Baltimore? What against City on Thursday? It's a really good question. That's a great. I'll be really surprised. Chelsea back underway then. Bright with the drop ball. Plays it into Lauren James. Lauren James puts the ball in the box. Captain out jumps it. Carnereed heads it backwards. Didn't mean to do that. Here's Mary Fowler. Skips past Captain. Fires it down the line. Cut out though by Lucy Bronze. Cuthbert through the legs of Fowler, but Fowler wins it back. Cuthbert and Fowler jostling for it. City come away with it. And again they look to move the ball nicely. Here comes Kasperite down the right hand side for City. Caroline miraculously recovered from her terrible head injury. Now running at Charles. Beats Charles. Puts the ball in the box. Over everyone though. Jess Park will look to recycle it at the back post. She will do. Finds Lazelle. Fires it in there. Does Fowler. The ball is bounced out. It will fall to Caroline, who volleys it over the bar. Another chance for City goes high and wide. But a good City have done really well. They weathered the early storm from Chelsea in the second half and have just hung in there a little bit now as we approach the final 10 minutes. Still very much hanging in the balance this match. Could go either way. Yeah, this was another ball in the box from Chelsea that just went over everyone. Just a couple of, not over, but it just goes like straight across the face of goal. So Leia Alexandri is going to be the one that makes way for Laura Weinreuther. Interesting decision. So Lazelle will go to centre half with Gracie Pryor. Understandably though, because Alexandri needs a rest, is the main thing. Yeah, so Weinreuther goes in at right back. And left back, and Lazelle goes into centre half with Pryor. And if you're Maya Ramirez, that's something you look to punish. Also, Yui Hasegawa came off for Lily Murphy, so Miedemar drops into the midfield, and Murphy goes to the left. Fowler goes up front. But it has to go also with an ice pack there. Clearly something not right. Here is Bronze. Bronze looks to find Ramirez. Can't quite get there though. Here is Kiara Keating. Murphy looks to get there before Lawrence, and somehow managed to keep the ball in play. Lawrence has it at the back though, but it did go off. And it will be a Chelsea throw. 9 minutes to go then in this game. Captain can't quite keep that on. Will be a Man City throw. This is a great example of how a football game can be so different across the two halves. As Lousy says, Chelsea are really missing Guro and Sammy Kay. Yeah. And that's the thing. In games like this, the likes of Guro Wrighton are absolute game changers. And also, you can say the same for City. Clearly, sure, Lauren Hemp makes a very different game. But, yeah, 2 big misses for Chelsea. Both sides missing game-changing players. Fowler, too tidy. Cut out by Kira Walsh. Walsh goes to Captain, who finds herself on the right-hand side. Vika Captain fires it across, but it's overhit and it's behind everyone again. Chelsea's crosses haven't been good enough, and Caroline is the one who picks up on it on the right-hand side. Goes back inside to Jill Rord. Plays a 1-2 with Pryor. Rord switches the play to Weinreuther. Goes back to Lazelle. Lazelle across to Laura Weinreuther into Jess Park. Jess Park beats Ash Lawrence. Really good from Park. Looks to cross it in. Finds Cuthbert instead. Captain flicks it to Carnereed. Carnereed looking to find Ramirez over the top, but Pryor will sweep that up and knock it back to her goalkeeper. Here is Pryor. Back to Keating. Keating's, has made a catalogue of saves in this game that have kept this match level. Here's Lazelle. Goes down the line to Weinreuther. City's low knee, charging down the left-hand side, uses Lily Murphy. Murphy against Lawrence. Murphy's beaten Lawrence. Brilliant header from Charles to take it away from Mary Fowler. Here's Cuthbert running away from Raud. Finds Lawrence. And Chelsea look to move it once again. Carnereid forced backwards. Plays the ball inside. Finds Lauren James. James skips past Jill Raud. Brilliant from Lauren James and looks to bring Chelsea forward. Pokes it on the right hand side. Captain in a race with Lazell. Brilliant tackle from Lazell to deny Captain progressing forward. Murphy skips past one challenge. Skips past two challenges. Brilliant from Murphy. Finds Fowler. Fowler to Park. Park, will she fancy a shot? Tries to beat Millie Bright. Goes wider to Caroline. Caroline to Kasperai. Flicked in. Fowler touches a little bit heavy. And Millie Bright intercepts. And now Chelsea come the other way. Carnereid. Ramirez. 2-on-1 for Myra Ramirez. That sounds familiar against Man City. And she's beaten one of them like she did against Stamford Bridge. Can she beat the other? Not quite. Big block there from Gracie Pryor. And out for a Chelsea corner. And well, I was having flashbacks to when Alana Kennedy was eating grass and Alex Greenwood got sent to the wrong way. As Myra Ramirez was bounding in on a 1 versus 2 with City centre-half partnership. Skips past Lazell brilliantly. But really good defending from Grace Pryor to step in and intercept. Ramirez looking to cause problems. 5 to play at the Etihad. Still, Man City 1, Chelsea 1. I did predict 1-1, so at the moment I'd be spot on. And so would the 16% of people that said it would be a draw in the polling chat. Chelsea corner, headed towards the goal. Turned just wide by Carnereid again. And it's been a much better performance from Johanna Eating Carnereid. But she just can't find the back of the net. She's hit the post today. She's had one saved brilliantly by Keating, and that one just goes wide. Carnereid has managed to do everything but find the back of the net today. Here she is again on the ball. Cuthbert. Bronze. Lucy Bronze to Erin Cuthbert. Cuthbert inside to Captain Walsh. Cuthbert. Chelsea just enjoying the ball now. Looking to come on strong in the last 5. What a ball from Cuthbert to pick out Ramirez, who lays it to Captain. Captain back to Ramirez. Ramirez blurs past Kasperai. Put away again. Brilliant defending by Gracie Pryor. And it's been given as a goal kick. I have no idea how that's a goal kick. It isn't. No, it's a corner. Thank God for that. Lineswoman gave a goal kick. I have no idea how she came to that conclusion. Pryor just kicks it out. But yeah, Jack saying Carnereid's been excellent. Should have had a hat-trick by now. No idea how she hasn't scored. And she's now being replaced. Double change for Chelsea. Macario replacing Carnereid. And a big moment for Chelsea as Mia Fischel steps back onto a football pitch in Chelsea colours once again. She comes on to replace Vika Captain. Huge moment for Fischel. Great to see her back playing football. Has been on a long road to recovery and is now back on the grass in the WSL. Lauren James wins the initial header from the goal kick. It was given as a goal kick, by the way. No idea how. Miedema looks to find Caroline, cut out by Cuthbert. Flag is up on Caroline. Chelsea had the ball anyway, but they are going to stop it. 3 to play. Plenty of time for either side to find a goal. I think that despite the result, if it is a draw, I think the bigger thing looked at will be the performances. City, again, have played to a good standard, have played very well. But I think the bigger thing for Chelsea was the reaction from the first half to the second half has been light and day between the two of them. Fischel looks to cross it in. It's deflected by Kasperai into the arms of Kiara Keating, and she will go to ground. Realising the situation that City are in, Keating not in a rush. Approaching the last couple minutes in this game. Leia Layla Uwahabi is getting ready to come on for Man City. Next time the ball leaves the field, another change for the home side. Keating boots it up in the air. Initial header won by Bright. Pryor puts it back in the mix-up. Cuthbert heads it back towards City. It's like a game of head tennis at the moment. Miedemar finally gets the ball down. Macario wins it off her and finds Lauren James. Lauren James bursting towards goal. James lets fly. Another huge save from Kiara Keating. Kiara Keating in the City net is keeping them in this game. Another brilliant save. It's brilliant football. Great work from Macario to win it back. And Lauren James fires one into that bottom corner. And that is another brilliant save from the English goalkeeper. Brilliant save. What a performance this is from Keating. Dropped by Gareth Taylor after a series of poor errors and bad performances. Back in the side today under Nick Cushing. And has been absolutely phenomenal. Lauren James ball in. Headed towards goal by Macario. City can't clear it. Ramirez has a go shot blocked. Layla Uwahabi has come on, by the way. Lauren James puts the ball in. Ramirez looks ahead goalwards. Another one that just flies past the goal. Caroline looks to clear it out the line. Big touch in there from Cuthbert. Another big tackle from Erin Cuthbert. Really good defensive work. Lawrence bringing it forwards for Chelsea. Goes out to the left-hand side. Finds Niamh Charles. Busts the gut to get there. Puts it in towards Fischel. Saved again by Keating, who had to scurry across her goal to claim it. Wow. LB went on the strings of City was robbed. The Jets goal should have stood. I have to agree with you on that one. Very bizarre circumstances. Mia Fischel inches away from scoring on her Chelsea return. But yeah, City did get very unlucky with that one. Park's goal should have stood. Entering the 90th minute now. How many minutes? Will have 6 additional minutes in this football match. 6 minutes for either side to find a winner. Uwahabi deals with it. Fires it up the pitch. Bronze brings it down and looks to play. So yeah, it was Jess Park, by the way, that was replaced by Layla Uwahabi. City realising they need to pack that defence up and try and shut up shops. Fischel into Macario. Millie Bright. Lauren James. James. Good footwork. Finds Lawrence. Lawrence will put the ball in. Sells the dummy for Cashbry. Now crosses it in. On rushing and it's a goal. It's a brilliant header. And Chelsea do have the lead. It's Erin Cuthbert, the wee Scot who sticks her head out of the back post and fires Chelsea in front. And a second half performance. A brilliant reaction from Bompastor's Blues. And they've completed the turnaround. A shoddy and a lazy first half has been replaced by a brilliant second half. And they make the chances count. Kiara Keating can't get to that one. And Erin Cuthbert fires Chelsea into the lead. An important goal for Chelsea. A much needed goal. A brilliant second half performance. And it looks to be rounded off with all 3 points. Brilliant header from Erin Cuthbert. The ball's put in by Ashley Lawrence. Does so well. Sends the dummy on Kasparai. Puts the ball in. Cuthbert beats, is it Weinreuther at the back post there? She beats to it. Just runs in. Really good header. It's power. The sheer power. Diving header. Fires it past Keating. And Chelsea have the lead. Better late than never for the Blues. It was the 93rd minute against Everton. It was the 92nd minute against Manchester City. Chelsea are inevitable in the WSL. Redeeming themselves so far for the defeat on Wednesday. And now they've just got to hold firm for 4 more minutes. Brilliant responses from everybody in the chat. Rivaldo, Lousy, Jack, David Fraser. Lucky says Chelsea deserve this second half. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Chelsea in the second 45 have been absolutely brilliant. And we will analyse it more in our video tomorrow. So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe. Hit that notification bell for our match week review going out tomorrow. Here comes Kat Macario. Chelsea looking to seal the deal with a third. Lauren James now on the left-hand side. Brilliant skills, but is taking it off her by Weinreuther, and City look to come the other way. Caroline into Jill Roord. City are not done yet. 3 to play. And this would be late drama if they got something now. Uahabi. Did Bronze foul Miedemar there? Apparently so. It was Kasbright. Actually, not sure there's much in that. But it has been given. And Chelsea now have a free kick to defend. And as Lousy points out, this is exactly what Chelsea needed. They've got a big ask on Thursday night to turn around a 2-goal deficit. But if they get the win today, the reaction, the performance in the second half has been absolutely brilliant. And again, proving that when Chelsea find that level, City have not played badly. City have played quite well today. They've taken the game to Chelsea. Ball into the box. Chelsea don't deal with it. Hampton does get there. And she will fall onto that football and lie on it for as long as possible. But yeah, Chelsea, Man City have put on a good performance today. First half, they're the better side. But second half, proving once again, if Chelsea find that level, they will beat anyone. Or they have, they will give whatever opposition a really, really good game. Keating has been given man of the match, which yes, she's conceded 2 goals, but it could have been many, many more. She has made some top saves. And if it wasn't for her, Chelsea would have scored much, much earlier. Ball sent long by Hampton. City won the initial one. Murphy flicks it forwards. Cuthbert, the goal scorer, heads it out for a throw. As Lucky says, if not for Keating, it would be 4 or 5. And yeah, some are going more for 6-1. Lucky went more respectable, only 4 or 5. Some has gone for 6. But yeah, really good stuff from Kiara Keating. Has kept their side in this game. But credit to Chelsea, because City have, as I said, City have remained at a good level for the whole of this match. But Chelsea, the improvement from first to second half has been absolutely brilliant. And now they've just got to close this game out. I think it was it I can't remember who pointed it out earlier. Someone said it earlier. I think it was Phil said that this is the best we've seen from Chelsea. Well, early Jan, but in 2025, this second half has been incredible from Chelsea. Chelsea have won themselves a throw. He said, Matt, oh no, I don't know how that's a Chelsea throw. The lineswoman gave a Chelsea throw. Myra Ramirez walked off and gave the ball to Man City. But not realising that she'd actually won herself a throw. Not got away with one there, but alas, Chelsea just holding it in the corner. Just trying to hang on. Poor from Macario though. City will get the opportunity to play out, but you feel like now they have ran out of time as we approach the 96th minute. Kaspriy with the throw. City look to play out. Murphy looks to hold it up. Fischel wins it back for Chelsea. And we'll go back to Charles. Charles to Bright. Bright fires it into Macario. Good touch and turn from Chelsea's attacking midfielder. Macario coming forwards for Chelsea. Goes to Fischel. And again, Chelsea are just going to sit in this far corner and hold on to that ball. Fischel to Lauren James. James, Macario, Fischel. This is brilliant game management from Chelsea. Lauren James skips past a couple, knocks it back to Bronze. Bronze fires it into Macario. Walsh looks to play it through to Ramirez. Will find Myra Ramirez. But once again, she'll just run into this corner and see this game out. And that is full time at the Etihad. Manchester City 1, Chelsea 2. A brilliant second half turnaround from Bompastor's Chelsea side. After a pretty dismal first half from the Blues, City took control and took the advantage into half time. But a brilliant second half with goals from Beaver, Jones and Cuthbert and a marked improvement of performance. See Chelsea take the 3 points and remain unbeaten in the WSL. City gave it their best shot, but Chelsea take the win. And that is a big relief for Chelsea. Not only a relief, but massive praise, because that is a superb performance in this game. That second half turnaround was absolutely brilliant. And yes, there'll be questions. Man City should have had another goal through Jess Park if it wasn't for a really shocking decision. But on the other hand, if it wasn't for Kiara Keating, then City would have conceded many, many more. Chelsea take the win. A big win, an important win. Huge goal from Erin Cuthbert in the stoppage time. to seal the victory for Chelsea. City just couldn't hold firm for the remainder of the 90. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been another brilliant game. We have seen two absolute crackers. We saw Real Madrid beat Barcelona for the first time in their history, and we've seen Chelsea complete a second half comeback from 1-0 down to 2-1 up to remain 8 points clear at the top of the Barclays WSL. And for Man City, well, the pressure is on now. They are up against it. Questions will be asked of Kirsty Dowie and her officiating team, particularly on that Jess Park goal that was ruled out. Blowing for a free kick before Jess Park was allowed to shoot was a really poor decision. But alas, I don't think it really would have impacted the result. And Maria says Thursday is so hard to predict. Exactly. Because if you take that Chelsea second half performance, if Chelsea play like that for the whole game on Thursday, then Chelsea will turn it around. But the problem is will we see that level of performance? Will Chelsea bring that high standard for 90 minutes? Or will they give Man City a chance to show their class, as they did in the first half? Man City did really well on Wednesday, take advantage of Chelsea. They did the same in the first half. But overall, really good stuff from the Blues. And Bompastor, well, I'd love to know what she said at half-time, because I can't imagine that I'm sure it was pretty good. But as Jack said, can't wait for Wednesday and Thursday. Yes, we are back. We're back with the streams on Wednesday for the Champions League with Arsenal versus Real Madrid, as the Gunners look to turn around a 2-0 loss, and Lyon versus Bayern Munich, as Lyon look to hold firm in that tie. But yeah, we've got our WSL Match Week review going out, and we've got a lot to talk about. We've already seen Arsenal smash Liverpool, Leicester are 3-0 up at Brighton at the moment, and Chelsea, Man City, completing carrying out what was an absolutely brilliant contest. But yeah, credit to all of you. Thank you all for tuning in. Maria saying things will be it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of team that Bompastor goes for. I expect it to be a pretty strong team. But yes, that is everything for today. Thank you all so much for your support throughout today. Thank you all for all the subscribers gained. It brilliant to hit 3k earlier today. And again, if you are tuning in and haven't subscribed, make sure to do so. Plenty of content coming this week. We've got videos, we've got streams every single day. So make sure to subscribe for that. But yes, we will see. We'll back the live streams on Wednesday. And I don't know actually. I was about to say I might be, Jack will be back on Wednesday, but not too sure yet. We'll see what happens. But yes, I will be here on Wednesday. Jack might be here with me on Wednesday as well. So let's see what happens. But that is all. We'll be back with videos all throughout the week. But yes, what a brilliant game. Thank you all very much for tuning in. That is all from me today. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.